Good morning, James. Good morning, everybody else on the stream there, whoever are present already. And welcome to Valencia. Valencia, yeah, that's where we are. Almost a mistake. Valencia, we are going to Lisbon now. And that's Reggie, he's going already. All right. What am I running? Yeah. No, it's Zibo, and I'm in Explain 1205 R1 with xEnviro, so. Need to set my volume a bit lower. Morning, Rob. Right, so we're all loaded. We're ready to go. I'm going to send the guys away and get going. Control away. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Alright, got everyone strapped in. This is ring if you need anything.
Morning, Tommy. Morning, Pamela.
Before start procedure complete.
Thank you, Linda.
Ready for before start checklist.
Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. Papers.
I'm using the jar design ground handling deluxe. And George Walker made our liveries and stuff for it. That's why it looks so cool.
Fuel. 7,597 kilogram on board. Pumps on. Passenger signs. On. Window. Locked. MCP. Speed 151.
Hello, Kies.
Heading 296.
Oh, well, thank you. Hello, Magnus.
Takeoff
Same to you, sir.
V1 143. V rotate 144. V2 151. CDU pre-flight.
Complete. Complete.
Complete. Rudder and aileron trim.
Free and clear.
Free and zero. Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Complete.
Complete. Anti-collision light.
It's on.
On. Before start checklist complete.
Right.
Engine start procedure. Waiting for the command to start sequence.
Valencia traffic Skymatix 001, push and start gate 37. Start number 2 engine. Start number 2 engine. Oh, la, la.
Starting number 2 engine.
Sorry, Reggie. I didn't realize you were there. I knew you were somewhere there. I didn't realize you were going to
25
be
MC.
there where I was now. Sorry. Apologies.
Because I'm riding your way.
Sorry, Reggie. I didn't realize you were still behind me.
No, it's
I
all
didn't
right.
check. Sis toch. Oops. I never do things like that. I have no idea, James. No idea whatsoever.
What's happened?
Starting number 1
Operation
engine.
complete. Set parking brake.
I pushed back while Reggie was still behind me, so we clipped our wings. Fortunately, the repairs was done just on the fly. You know, quick, and he's on his way already. Me too.
But you're not streaming anymore.
Oh no, then this thing rebooted again, and I didn't notice. Here you go.
Starter cutout.
Thank you.
It is streaming.
Yeah, I started my stream here when Uncle John asked me, and then it died. So all I can think of is that we had that famous reboot of
25
Discord
and
again
2.
up yellow. So that's why I had to start it again. This Discord, I don't know, the way they do it, sometimes the mind boggles.
Disconnecting to standby.
Starter cutout. Engine start procedure complete.
Valencia traffic Skymatix 04, taxi to holding point runway 30 via November 1.
Ooh, not that way. Here's the other lever. Here we go. I think that should be it. Let's just make sure.
Ready for before taxi procedure. Flaps 5 set.
Before taxi procedure.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hands in along the left. See you next time. Buen vuelo.
Skymatix 194 pushing back after passing traffic.
Before taxi procedure complete. I am ready for before taxi checklist. Before taxi checklist. Generators on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice. Wing anti-ice off. Engine anti-ice off. Isolation valve. Auto. Engine start switches. Continuous. Recall.
Checked. Come now.
Valencia traffic Skymatix 04, line up and
Checked.
take off runway 30.
Auto brake. Rejected takeoff. Engine start levers. Idle detent. Flight control.
Checked.
Checked. Flaps.
Flaps 5, green light.
Flaps 5 set. Green light. Detent. Ground equipment.
Clear.
Clear. Before taxi checklist complete.
There we go.
Ready for taxi.
Someone's leaving. Right. Valencia traffic Skymatix 001, taxi via Whiskey 5 and Whiskey 2 through the apron onto November 1 for the holding point Hotel 2, Skymatix 001.
Valencia traffic Skymatix 014, line up and wait, runway 30.
Taxi lights on.
This line reminds me of hurry up and wait.
Skymatix 1904, taking to runways 30 via November 1.
Skymatix 014 Toga.
Skymatix 194, lining up runway 30.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for takeoff.
Skymatix 194, taking off runway 30.
Yeah, I must be careful not to get too close. I might be flying this plane high.
Skymatix 194, airborne passing, fly at 3,000 feet.
Where are you setting up that you have rain? Or could it be from the sim in a previous session that it just needs to update weather, or what's happening there? Yes. The other question is, are you setting up here on the same airport, or which one? Got me all curious now. Ah, okay.
Skymatix 01, line up and wait.
I need to check for other traffic and stuff first, and then I'll go. Another question is, there goes Tommy. So let's start my timer. Valencia traffic, Skymatix 001 lining up runway 30. Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure. Before takeoff procedure complete. Ready for before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
On runway 30.
Flaps.
Flaps 5 green light.
Flaps 5 set, green light, detent. Stabilizer trim. 5 units set. Transponder. TARA set. Before takeoff checklist complete. I am ready for your takeoff.
Thank you, Linda. We're almost ready.
On runway 30. On runway 30.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, no music, no nothing, no time to waste. Come on, stop it. Sorry, that was another one of my videos playing in the background. That was because I had to answer you, James. I just noticed the comment you made on that video, so I just answered you. Thank you so much. Now it's okay, cool, excellent. Okay. Right, so we've gone past our 3 minutes. We are ready to go. Take off.
Set time.
Set time. Right, I just want to quickly pause here. I want to mention something to a couple of guys watching that queried this. Okay, so we all know we need to reach the stable N1 at 40%. That's the Boeing way of doing things. After 40%, the general consensus is that's when you press your toga button. So somebody picked up a while ago that I actually push it to 60%, and then the query was why. It's a sim issue. It's a practical issue with my throttles. Okay, so what happens is if you have your throttles not aligned completely next to each other and you've got an asynchronous throttle lever situation, what happens is auto throttle will disconnect. So what I do is, that's the first reason, I make sure that I push it to 60%. After 40%, I can obviously press my N1 normal aircraft procedure. But then what happens
On
is I
runway
leave my
30
throttles at
on
60%, the
runway
actual
30
physical levers. I leave it there because when I come into land and I need to activate my reversers, I want the system to notice the travel from 60% or about 58%, okay, down into the reverse detent. Otherwise, I don't get my reversers. Okay, so if you guys were wondering, it's a practical thing. It's got nothing to do with flight operations. The 40% is still there, still how it works and all. But that was the answer.
Stabilized.
All right, there we go. Morning, Arthur. You more towards Oz.
Takeoff thrust set.
I hate these time zone issues, man. I wish it was different, but anyway.
80 knots. Throttle hold. V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. There's Command A.
Acceleration altitude.
Alright, I activated the cutback because it's Sunday morning and don't want to disturb the people sleeping a bit late, so we've opted for that route. So it's going to be a bit slower than usual to just get up, and beyond 3,000 feet everything will return to normal. There we go, here's the acceleration again. There's our little train. Kevin and Anthony, you guys are going to have to get more separation there.
Approaching transition. Transition altitude. Flaps up and set. Flight level 100, landing lights switches off.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. The only thing is with my Bravo, and I've seen it previously with my Cytec, and what is the other one, the big one we all had? Anyway, the other American one from San Diego. With those throttles, if you don't have a little bit of travel and you pull back to go into reverse thrust, the Zibo doesn't pick it up. So you go into reverse thrust, but there's nothing. It doesn't go into reverse thrust. So I've learned to give it a little bit extra travel just to make sure the system recognizes we're going down now. And then it goes through the notch, through that detent, and the reverse thrusters come on. The other thing is, the actual 60% originated from the PMDG. For some reason, look, in the Zibo, we obviously have controls. We can set the noise level of our controllers, and we can, force the auto throttle lock on, and there's ways that we can protect ourselves from this asynchronous mishap. Okay, but in the PMDG it's much more sensitive. And what used to happen 2 or 3 updates ago was every time I go to like 40% and I press toga, my auto throttle would kick out, and then I would see my 2 throttles would maybe, they would be maybe 3 millimeters apart, not perfectly aligned, and that 3 millimeters was enough to make it kick out. So that's why I went to 60%. I made sure everything was stable before I pressed the toga, because I got fed up with this thing continuously disconnecting the auto throttle, and there is no control that you can set like we have in the Zibo, where we can tell it increase the noise level to prevent a glitch or to make it less sensitive or whatever, so it's practical flight sim stuff. And the funny thing is, just some of the keen observers with their eagle eyes notice things like this, and instead of always asking, some were nice, some were not nice, some instead of asking why you do that, I've heard a couple of complaints and people making fun of us, and I think to myself, but hang on, what kind of an idiot are you now? I mean, you didn't ask, you don't know what it's about, and then fortunately, thank goodness, you get the good guys, and they came along and they asked, and I realized, you know what, okay, I need to maybe say something about it. So I did set the record straight with the good guys. The bad guys, obviously, they work, they come in, they drop a bomb and they run away. They don't even give you a chance to respond. So if they see the video, cool, they'll find out what it's about. Otherwise, whatever. Good morning, Neil. Welcome. John from Greece.
Yes, good. Hello.
Morning. Silly question. I thought you were in the air already, and now I see, according to WebEye, you're on the ground. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, did you crash out, or did I misinterpret something?
No, I had a power failure.
Okay.
It's summer here in Greece. All air conditions are working, so sometimes you have some blackouts.
Gotcha.
Good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy your flight.
Thank you. Yes, you too.
like I said, don't wait for me. I'm way behind.
No, no worries. No worries. I can see you on the ground there. Uncle John, that makes 7 pilots this morning. He keeps score.
Good morning.
Yeah, I noticed, Tommy. It's fine. You can write. If you want to chat to us here in the channel, that's going to be a different story. So you'll have to tell us where to look to see your text. But otherwise, I'm reading it in the client. I can see in the client when you're talking. You know, texting there. There is Auntie. I see you sitting here. I suppose you can hear me. Oh yeah, you see what I'm doing. There is not supposed to be an ACARS page. Okay. The best you have is this. Then you can see your flight log and your requests and things if you want to check weather and things like that. There is no ACARS here that I'm aware of. So you go to D-Link and then AOC, and some of these things will work. Good morning, Vasily. Welcome.
1000 to level off.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds nice, Neil, but I suppose that will be in the new beta. I'm not flying the beta right now, so if I've got time tonight, I'll give it a bash. MI16 driver, good morning. What you need to do is you need to get the version that says 4.0 full. That's your foundation, that's your base, and then you download the latest fix. So if you are on X-Plane 11, the latest fix will be RC 2.7, and if you are on X-Plane 12, the latest is RC 3.0. So you just take the base plus the latest fix, and that equals your complete Zibo, current Zibo. No, I'm not in the new beta. I've got other actual responsibilities, Neil, that I need to fulfill as well. So I have to choose my sim for the purpose of the testing or the flight or the whatever reason, accordingly. Good morning. I am not able to understand what you're saying in whatever language that is. Might be Japanese, I guess. Let's have a look, see if I can translate that. Let's see. Maybe it's not even Japanese. Shows you what I know. Detect language. Japanese. Total revolution. Oh, explain has gone through a major jump now. Change. I hear you, Neil. Yeah, obligations sometimes take you different places. Actual fact, you know what? Let's do it proper. Where's my other calculator? Gotcha. You like your bands and music, eh? And the current temperature is 22. Right. Proper. Okay, for those guys who are flying with that can actually hear my voice, I hope you guys fixed PESEX on finals, because otherwise, if you didn't read through your legs page, you're going to find that your aircraft is going to do 180 degrees turnaround to go back and away from the ILS. I hope you guys check that.
Yes, noticed that. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Right, course is 25, 10910, correct. We can flip that later. 020, right? Oh, so I'm sorry to hear that, James. Didn't know that, but yeah. Wow. I almost lost my left eye due to a cricket ball once. Yeah, I was about 16 years old. And I was a big hitter. I loved to just go in and slam those balls, sixes, you know, as much as possible. I didn't have much respect for the bowlers, and then one day the spinner got me. He got me in the eye. Bloody ball. Yeah. It was a terrible day. But anyway, I survived. No long-term problems, at least.
Sevilla traffic on Naviades, runway 27.
Alright, so apart from the ILS frequencies, we're ready to go. Let's put the VOR on so we can see when that comes alive. Ready for the descent already. Really good.
Nico?
Yeah?
Out of interest, has these latest updates had any effect on your FPS?
Sevilla traffic
Not on mine, no.
Runway 27, SkymatixVA.
Uncle John, in the beginning, the very first stream I made, I said it gave me about 5 extra FPS. Okay, and I think that was about the extent of it. Some of the guys are claiming 30, 40, 50 FPS increase, but for me it was about 5 at the airport where I was at. And I got more, so I didn't pay much attention to it. For me it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I think the big increases are related to NVIDIA though.
Probably. Also, I've seen quite a few posts on different platforms, NVIDIA guys complaining about Zink. And, you know, I don't know what to say, because without Zink I'm lost, but it seems to, I don't know if it's the specific graphics driver that they're using or what, but something's influencing them badly. So I've said to a few of them already, switch it off and see what happens. Never come back to me. They never say, yeah, it worked, no, it didn't work. You know, there's no feedback, so I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah, that does annoy me actually. When people put something out to help them, you come up with suggestions, and you never hear anything from them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's naughty.
Yeah. They give you the impression of a parasite, you know. They just come and suck you dry, get what they want, and they run away, and then you sit and you wonder. All I can imagine is that it did work, and they're happy, and, you know, tough luck for the rest.
But what does it take to say, thanks to that, it's actually worked. Appreciate it. End up.
And then some of the guys go on Facebook, they actually come back and they tell you in the same post, somewhere in the comments, they say, oh yeah, it worked, but it's like down 10 comments. And the next moment you go back, you want to refer somebody back to the problem, they've deleted it. It's like, again, they got what they wanted, so just, you know, pull the plug on the rest.
Very sad.
Yeah, one rely on things like that, and it's this whole thing with the Zibo, with SSG, with the 747, and with the E-jets and stuff that didn't want to start up. It all started with an NVIDIA update, and I can kick myself for not saving that post, or at least taking a screenshot where NVIDIA said it was because of some other driver issue that these things happen, right? And I've tried searching it, I can't find it. So I need to get into a habit of actually screenshotting these things, you know, so that I can actually prove to the naysayers and the skeptics, there it was written, you know. And at the end of the day, we've now had to run the gauntlet for months and months and months chasing our tails. So anyway, done now. Archibres, good morning. Oh, Magnus, I can imagine. And some people listen and they appreciate your feedback and comment, and some people just don't believe you, and they tell you in your face, no, we don't believe you, it's your problem, fix it. So it's difficult, man, I tell you what. And I understand why the actual developers don't get involved with social media specifically, because it's so toxic.
Yeah, it is. Now, talking about Zink and NVIDIA, Nico, on my side, the test I did a few months ago with NVIDIA seems to be working better without Zink, at least on the things that I was testing.
Without Zink?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that also before. Excellent, Neil. Yeah, you see, for some people it works. That's the other problem, okay? Now you get people, for some it works, some it don't work. For the guys it does not work, they go and say the others are talking nonsense. And you think to yourself, but why? Why would people do that? Weird, man. Uncle John, Tommy says good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, well, James, I've had to split my social media feeds and stuff between public and personal. You'll never see me post any personal stuff in public domain ever again. Just won't happen. What is there is there, but there's not going to be any new stuff. Right, well, I'm 176 nautical miles from top of descent. Where are you guys? Let's see.
I'm just ready to taxi, sir.
All right, well, enjoy the flight, yes.
Thank you.
This route, by the way, is a brand new Eurocontrol route. The original route took us almost up to Madrid and then back down. And when I tried it this morning, when I did wanted to publish the route, it didn't work anymore. So I had to find a new one. So this is a fresh, brand new Eurocontrol approved route. It's a really clearish day for a change. No mega clouds or anything. For the last couple of days, I've noticed that SimBrief, the suggested altitude, flight altitude, your flight level, is very low. So I'm not sure. I never checked the jet streams and stuff. But I mean, it never went over 31,000 feet for quite a number of days of flights all over Europe now. Did anybody else notice that? Yeah, you've been storm chasing. I know. So I get where you're coming from, Neil. Okay, see. Question to the viewers. Do we have any Airbus, actual real-world Airbus flyers watching this stream? I've got a question. But it needs to be a real pilot.
I know somebody, but it's not here.
I've sent messages to a few that I know as well. I've also posted in the Explain 12 group, but it's like now that we need one, there's no one. No one responds.
Let me know what is the request, and I can send it. It's a friend of mine, so I can ask him directly.
Marco? Vasily.
Yes.
Vasily was on the stream earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's still watching. He sent me a file. Okay, here's the question, Magnus. He sent me a file. You know this ND overlays that we have in the Zibo where XRAS puts the display here on the ND that tells you your runway or your whatever, you know, the notice would be. Okay? So Vasily did the inscriptions for the Tolles Airbus aircraft. Now he says, and I have no reason to doubt him, I'm not asking because I'm doubting him. I'll tell you why I'm asking later. He had it somewhere here at the top, you know, originally, because his Airbus pilot buddy says it's at the top. The problem I have, and it's more than likely just my OCD, is it obscures some of the information that you need, like for instance, you know, these needles, your heading and things, you know. So when that thing activates, obviously you're going to be on the ground somewhere or you're going to be on approach, okay, finals. So it might not be that big of a problem if it obscures some of the display at the top, but me with my OCD, I'm now wondering why it's not somewhere more sensible here in the middle. So I'm looking for more opinions. I'm looking for maybe a photo from the real aircraft, because you can't Google this. It's impossible. I've tried on so many different terms and requests in Google. You don't see that. You get Boeings, but not the Airbus. So what I want to do, or at least look, his original file puts it at the top. My one puts it somewhere around there. And what I want to do is I obviously want to share it with the users, you know, with us guys here, so that when you fly the Tolles aircraft, that you will actually get the display here for XRAS as well, or at least there somewhere. And this is the question: where is the actual real place? Where does Airbus actually display it?
Okay, clear.
Yeah. Yeah, Vasily, I know you'll know the question because you and I have talked about it already. So, look, I'm not second guessing. I'm just curious because of the way we work. With the Zibo mod, even this morning, I had a comment by a flight simmer about a real-world pilot that said something. So, we've learned our lesson in the Zibo team. Just because a pilot says something doesn't mean it's true, okay? Because it could be true for him, it could be true for his aircraft, and then he gets out, walks across the way, gets in the next aircraft, and then it's not the same anymore. Which is why the normal way Zibo operates is he requests photos and videos, or the official Honeywell, Boeing, whatever, General Electric, whatever the documentation is, and then he builds according to that. Because especially during COVID, when all these captains and first officers were sitting at home twiddling their thumbs, we had a couple of them come our way and they say, oh no, this is wrong, and 2 days later you find out, but it's only applicable in their aircraft and in their minds. It's not applicable through the fleet, it's not a Boeing thing, it's not, you know, and that's obviously my perspective, where I come from. So you can have the best intentions in the world, you can have a PhD in Boeing, unless you can prove it, nothing's going to change in the Zibo, okay? Because we obviously build it according to the information we have that is verifiable. Now, from that mindset, that's obviously why I'm asking, because it's a practical thing. I don't want to obscure things. And secondly, I'm now curious because I just don't find any information about it. It's all hearsay, which I don't mind. I mean, at some point in time, I have to trust someone, right? But I'm in the investigation phase now. I want to find out what the story is. Who's talking what? Who's doing what? Show me, you know, because we just one last thing. We had an instance, there's one airline, they have 28 Boeing 737-800s. 26 of them are exactly the same, and 2 of them are so different you can't even compare them. Okay, because they come from a different fleet, from a different airline, they've been taken over. It's just not the same bloody machine. Okay, don't have the same systems, it's just totally 2 different machines. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, you know. I just want more. I just want to find out a little bit more.
Might Arkan be a source of info?
Arkan, yeah, I never thought of him. Sorry, Arkan. Yeah, I might ask him. Magnus also says he'll help me, so I'll send him the question. Obviously, anybody that has now heard my story, you're welcome. Ask your buddies. Let's get some consensus. Let's get a couple of guys give us their impression. Because one other thing, this is a big rabbit hole. Another thing is we've also learned that the American Boeings are different than the European Boeings. Okay, and a lot of guys have said, oh yeah, PMDG this, PMDG that, but it's because they build it more leaning towards the Americans, whereas we build more leaning towards the European guys, you understand? So you've got to be so bloody careful who you believe and for what reason you believe, and this is the reason for me asking. Exactly, Vasily, exactly. So, my reasoning here, simple. This is the last bit of reasoning is, we've got a community. There's bound to be a plentiful Airbus pilots around, and they should be able to tell us. Now, if the one guy says, yeah, it's at the top, it would be nice to know who he flies for. Is that an EasyJet thing, or is this an American Airlines thing? You know, just to give you 2 stupid examples. You know, because we know from experience now that one guy does it one way, the other guy does it a different way. And it's not about right and wrong. Now we've got to decide, okay, who are we going to follow? Who's the majority? Why? What's the practical implication? And these things. Morning, Piotr. Piotr, how do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry. Piotr, I think. What's your favorite color? Exactly. Every one of them might be right, but it's going to then mean, Magnus, that that pilot is right for his airline and this pilot is right for his airline or her airline. You know, just one of those things. I was fiddling with the VORs and stuff the other day, and your heading bug sits there, Vasily. The heading bug sits there, and also I'm speaking under correction. I'm not an Airbus guy, but I'm pretty sure the VOR indicator as well. You know, like we had it here come up on the screen. So we'll have a look. We'll have a look, see what they say. Again, please don't be offended. This is not about right and wrong. It's a question. I'm just asking in general, you know. If it goes to the top, we'll put it back at the top. If it goes in the middle, we'll put it in the middle, you know. It's just one of those things. I've tried it. I've found a host of Honeywell information online, not a single picture. It's all just written information, not a single picture. Yeah, that'll be a nice feature, eh, Alex? Descent procedure.
Descent procedure.
Do your thing, woman. Now I've got to set everything back.
Complete.
Exactly. And then you get that one airline I told you about, 26 aircraft are exactly the same and two are totally different even from each other.
Descent checklist.
You know. Yeah, Zibo did a good job with this one. I'm loving this. This is a good version. This is one of those ones you want to make a backup copy in case of other issues later with other versions. Eh? No, I think that's a bit of an overkill, I should. I think Zibo had the right idea in the beginning, you know, to have certain things that you can configure per livery, okay? And other things are supposed to be more general, but I haven't really looked at it, so I can't comment too much. But there might be a little bit more that he can customize. So who knows? I'll really have to investigate it before I say more. But yeah, at least the idea is somewhat there already. Oh, well, good luck, Alex. When I made my second copy of Explain the other day after this beta 6 came out, it took me like 3 days to get it to work proper because of all the add-ons, especially Auto and all the sceneries from Orbex and Aerosoft using, you know, outside folders and then putting little shortcuts in there. Drove me insane. It took me like 3 days of trying and effort to get the second copy working proper. Yeah, I see you guys are talking about the cargo version. I don't really think it's Zibo's responsibility. What we need is somebody to make us a fuselage that is a cargo fuselage, and then we just put the Zibo systems in there. That's how Level Up also does it. They went and they got their own fuselage and everything else, and then Zibo just hooks up. Magnus, when's the last time you spoke to Peter? He hasn't responded to my reaching out to him for like 2 weeks or so already. Is he okay? Do you know? Marco, if you use Auto for XP, it's much easier to copy that over than to work with this other thing with all the shortcuts and stuff. Okay. Thanks, Magnus. I'll send you a message. I don't want to discuss it on stream. Nothing major, but I'll send you a message later. Rob, me personally, I prefer voice over text. Okay, guys like Krister that have got hearing problems, or even Tommy, I bet you they prefer text. But for me, I like the Unicom idea. You know, voice on Unicom. Morning, Stuart.
Approach top of descent.
Gents, just before we completely move off the subject, for those of you that don't know or didn't understand, this is what we're talking about. There is the RAS displayed on the Tollus. This is the A319 that I tested. I tested it on the 19 and the 20. And so there at the very top, Vasily, I think is where you had it, and I just moved it a little bit down.
For runway 02.
Nico was fast asleep. Shh. Don't say anything. Wake up. Hello, hello, hello. Long time no see. Wow.
Información de tráfico visual con salida desde Vigo, destino hacia Coruña. Posterior Fisterra, nos vamos a dirigir hacia Lima Eco Mike Zulu, o un embalse que creo se llama...
That's a good point, Alex.
Ferventa. Llevamos 2000 pies de altura.
Why did it not go down? I clicked the descent now and execute it. That's strange.
Isn't the notepad?
It's diving the nose now, so...
Lisbon traffic, Skymatix 04, established ILS 02.
Yeah, the descent now. Stuart, I'm glad we tried it, and believe it or not, unconsciously I was wondering, because we forgot to test it yesterday. I'll have to ask Zibo to look at that, because that's not right.
Lisbon traffic, Skymatix 008, turning final runway 02.
So what is it? Problem with the route?
Negative. No, it's with the command in the FMC, the descent now command in the FMC. I selected it, executed it, and the Zibo just didn't descend at all.
Did the other guys have the same problem?
Yeah, Stewart says he had the same. He explained it to me yesterday, and while we were talking, we said, yeah, we better test it and all, and I forgot. And subconsciously, I obviously remembered, and I did it just now, and I saw it's not working.
Okay. So I'm assuming you'll send Zibo a message later.
Yeah, I'll message him later. Yeah, no, family's good. And your side, how are you doing? That's Lloyd, right? LD, Lloyd. See, you need to come more often. Stuart, you must take screenshots or videos and put it on the forum. Because unless we see it, it's, it's a bit difficult to do anything about it. I think Mommy's back home.
Lisbon traffic, Skymatix 008, establish on RLS runway 02, currently 11 nautical miles out.
Oh, that's bloody strange, Stuart. Very strange. Yeah, thought it was Lloyd.
Until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Nico?
Yes, sir.
Linda won't fetch me any coffee, so I have to do it myself. I'm away from the keyboard for a while.
Okay.
Porto traffic Skymatix 014 on 10 mile final for 02.
Are you not coming to Lisbon with the rest of us, Reggie?
Yes, I'm.
Reggie does his own thing.
He said he's going to Porto.
Lisbon traffic, Skymatix 008.
That's why I'm asking.
4 nautical miles, runway 02.
Kevin asked him the same question
Lisbon
this
traffic,
morning.
Skymatix
Are you
04,
likely to
runway
be doing
vacated.
our route today, or are you going to do your own thing as usual?
So, listen, at least he's here. At least he's here. Uncle John, did you buy the Faro LPFR scenery?
I think I did, Nico. I need to double check when the machine gets back. I've been reading up on the updates and that.
Okay. Because I realized we don't have that many nice flights from that airport or to that airport. And believe it or not, the one nice flight is from Porto down to Faro, LPFR. Okay. And so my next flight that I've got lined up for myself is Lisbon to Porto and then Porto down to Faro to go check it out, because I bought it and I never went there, you know, except for just checking it out. I've never flown there with the new scenery, so I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like.
Am I right in saying it was Innie builds?
I think it was Boundless, Uncle John.
Oh, was it Boundless?
I think it was. I'm not going to put my head on a block for it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of checking up I need to do when that machine gets back.
Uncle John? Uncle John, what's your accent? Where does your accent come from?
Lisbon traffic,
Originally, I come from Birmingham.
Birmingham? Okay. Yeah, James is asking on the stream. So you're from Birmingham?
Yeah, originally, I was up until the age of 17. I resided in Birmingham, and then from there on, I've been anywhere but Birmingham.
Okay. And thank you, Alex. So, Uncle John, as Reinhard would say, you are now British.
I've been called worse than that.
British. Yeah, small world. I tell you what. And look, I mean, we've got followers absolutely all over the world. But I think most of the guys on Discord here, believe it or not, is going to be either British, of some flavor of British or Irish, and the other guys are, I think, the majority of people would then be Dutch and like Scandinavian kind of regions, you know. Obviously there's a lot in between, but if you look at the guys that are here most, you know, the guys that come and chat with us and all, it's the British, the Dutch, the Norwegians and Swedes, you know. So yeah,
we have a couple from South Africa as well, Nico.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know a few.
Yeah, there's one or two. I'm thinking Laurie, you, Kevin.
Yeah, but Kevin is actually British. He's just a new South African. No, I know. There are quite a few of us, you know, so it's not important. It's just an observation.
It's also a fact.
Mm-hmm. Nee, wat Alex, ek dink jy is veilig. Stewart, I run it on NVMe, which is way better than an SSD, yeah.
Approaching transition.
I'm back.
Welcome. Yeah, Sjoerd, and also Stewart, just for the record, when I had my Ortho for XP tiles, the ones that I made myself, that was on a mechanical hard drive running at 5,400 RPM internal Seagate, okay? It's only recently now with Ortho that I'm running it on the NVMe. I repurposed my a mechanical hard drive now, so yeah, it's only because of the smaller size and stuff now that I'm doing this.
Flaps 1 set.
Nee man.
Flaps 5 set. Transition level. Ready for approach checklist. 1000 to level off.
Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters. Speed checked. Flaps 10. Flaps 10 set. QNH 1020 set. Altitude passing 4,421 now. Approach checklist complete.
Thank you, Neil. Lisbon traffic, Skymatix 001, 11 miles, final for runway 02. It's interesting now that I mentioned that, that's not really the right call to make. But that's a totally different discussion there. It's just a bad habit.
Radio altimeter.
Stewart, that's why I wrote a nice guide for guys like you and why we do training with IVAO. Specifically, we've got 3 regions: South Africa, the Nordic region, and the North American region. Oh, hang on, we've got also the Irish division that we can do training with. Okay, so there's a couple of divisions where you can come to with us, and then you can throw away your good name as much as you want. And dankie Reinhard. And nobody's going to laugh at you and all. It's a special arrangement we have. So you need to get my guide. It's in my private hangar under VATSIM actually. I might have put it under IVAO, but it's the same thing. And it gives you the basic terminologies and phrases and everything that you need. You know, so if you've got that guide and a whiteboard and a marker next to you, you can do anything. You know, then it's just practice, practice, practice. And if you come to one of those safe zones with us, then nobody's going to shout at you and all those things, you know.
Approaching 02.
Yep. It's not that difficult. It's actually very easy, but it's, you know, parroting. You have to learn the little rhyme and then you just parrot it, you know. Monkey see, monkey do. It's going to take you a few flights to just get used to it. The biggest trick is in your mind, just to press the PTT button for the first time. Once you've crossed that barrier, you'll be fine.
400. Approaching decision height. 300.
My ailerons are stuck again, guys. So if I do a bad landing, I do apologize. I'm going to do my best.
100. Tank rate. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Reverse unlocked. Speed brake up.
Still getting that pause as well, Nico.
Yeah. In the new copy that I made, I don't have it, and I don't know what's the difference, because it's the same thing, but for some reason it does. I'm also going to have to delete this version of my Zibo and make myself a new one, because I'll show you guys just now when we get off the runway here that freaking ailerons are stuck again. Let me see.
stabilized. After landing procedure. After landing procedure complete.
Yeah, I had to land almost with my yoke at the 90-degree turn to the right to make it actually. It's crazy, but yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, Lloyd, stay well. Thanks for popping in.
Flaps up and set.
Brakes up, brakes on, there we go. Shutdown procedure.
Ready for shutdown procedure. Shutdown procedure.
There's the jetway coming now. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy your flights now, Neil, and thank you for watching and being here, and everybody else. Thanks, guys. Who do we have to wait for? Was I the last one in this group?
I'm on final.
All right, we'll wait for you.
Don't wait for me. I'm 55 nautical miles from top of descent.
Okay.
Shutdown procedure complete. Ready for shutdown checklist.
Next time, Stuart, enjoy.
Lisbon scenery also looks very nice.
Yeah, I'm fond of Lisbon and Porto.
You ever been there yourself?
Mm-mm. So Mario and I, we teamed up in the beginning of the Zibo community group to do some tutorials and stuff. He introduced me to the Lisbon Porto flight, and then I took it further from there. I mean, I've done hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of hours between these two airports now, testing the Zibo and then also doing the circuits around Porto and so on. But before that, even before that, I mean, even in FS9 and FSX days, I used to fly in, but it was more long haul, you know, coming from the UK into here and so on. And I always liked flying in here for some reason. No, this is default shirt, all default. I don't use X anything.
Morning, Nico.
Morning. Hello, Wim.
Nico, did you have any idea how it comes by the clicking on in X-Plane 12, the overlay? Do you know what problem it is or not?
No, we don't. It's an X-plane laminar problem. They're going to have to not only hide, but actually remove what overlay it is that's causing the clicking problem. So at this point in time, the only thing that you can do as a user is to move your viewpoint. So either go left, right, up, down, or zoom in and zoom out. Then it's like you can click through it.
Perhaps they should put the overlay back to the back. Then it will solve the problem, I think.
Well, it is most likely a tool that they use for troubleshooting or measuring or finding bugs, you know. So as long as it's in beta, it's in their what's it now? Advantage to have it, but it's not in our advantage because we don't know what it is and how to use it, and it's not visible to us. So I think what they need to do when they release X-Plane betas, they need to actually disable that thing, because not one of us have access to it. So there's no point in it even being in the sim.
Yeah, clear.
This is actually a really nice autogen. This is all default. I love these trees moving in the wind.
Not so safe with the tanks and the nearby.
As long as you don't shoot into it or fly into it, you should be fine. Look at that bank of clouds. Wow. Yeah.
That's nice to see some crosswind.
I was just looking at the windsock as well. That was a nice landing. Well done, John.
Thank you very much.
Right. Hello, Peter. How are you doing? Thank you for flying with Tommy. It was nice having you. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You guys must have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, whether it's evening or afternoon or morning, whatever. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you guys soon again. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Nico. Bye-bye.
Nico. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Nico.